What is going on, guys? It is Jezzi here with another trade review, and in this trade it was SPX did about 50%. These contracts filled from $1.05 to $1.50, so about 45-ish, 47-ish, 50%, yada yada yada. As you can see here, this is my group. As you can see here, where are we at? It's right here. Account, individual, obviously, live Thinkorswim account. Filled, $1.05. Second fill, $1.50. So about a 50% return on that trade. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the actual trade review. So as you can see here, I like to take my trades at the end of the day. Why? Premiums are lower, and you tend to get a little bit better moves on 0-day expirations because I'm going for quick scalps or just bigger moves. I'm not looking for anything below like 20%. Sometimes here and there, I'm okay with breaking even. I'm okay with 10%, but it varies on every trade. You're not gonna expect what you think every single trade. So sometimes you gotta manage them differently, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. But end of day, there tends to be really nice moves because the volume picks up after lunch, and the premiums are typically lower. Well, they are lower because the later on in the day, especially if it's 0-day expirations, the value of that contract decreases. That is also the thing. You have to be careful with end of day 0-day expirations, because if price does not move in the direction of your preferred strike, then you lose the trade. Even if price does slowly, like say like your strike price was 58.91, and you entered here, and instead of it shooting down here, it kind of went like this. By the time it gets down here, the value of those contracts are going to be worth little to none because it took so long for price to get to your strike. So end of day contracts, you got to be a little bit careful, but if you get good at it, if you get familiar with it, they pay really well, and they could also hit you pretty hard. So again, do as you please. Some people like to trade early on in the morning, some people like to trade end of day. Me personally, I like end of day. Alright, now that we're done with that, let's get into the trade that I took today. So this is what I'm looking at. Obviously, this is a high that I'm watching, and this is a low that I'm watching. We see the high, low, lower high, higher low, kind of double top, broke below, boom. Big rejection right here, big demand zone right here. Price came down, rejected really hard, immediate next candle, popped right up to that previous high. And we can see we have another strong bearish engulfing candle with a strong rejection. Whoa, I did not mean to do that. Sorry. Carry on with a strong rejection right back down, and this is the high that I'm looking for it to maybe retest off this low here, and then re-break above this high, or I'm looking for it to break this low here. We can see comes down to this support, rejects, unable to hold, and we can see here with this rejection we have decreasing buy volume. Let me see if I can kind of zoom in a little bit. It's hard to zoom in. I don't know why it gives me such a big deal. I think I can. Whatever, you see it. No, okay, whatever. So you see right here, sell volume is increasing, and we have a retest on decreasing buy volume. That means, in simpler terms, the buyers are thinning out and the sellers are too strong. Even though it hit that level of previous strong support, the sell volume is now too strong. So it's like it's coming down, hits that support, buyers come up, but it's just not enough, and it just keeps coming down. And first confluence was this bearish engulfing to this rejection here. And that is when I was like, okay, now I gotta wait for an entry. We can see breaks below the support. Now I'm looking for a retest, validating that it's not going to break back above this trading range here. You can see We have the break, the retest, and then the rebreak of this low. Rebreak of this low is where I take my entries. You know, in this specific scenario, there's different scenarios where I'm looking for a different low, but in this scenario, you can see the break, the retest, and then the rebreak of that low here, and that is where I would take my entry. I'd set my stop at this previous high here, or this previous resistance now, which was a previous, well, I would set my stop at this resistance that was a previous support. Sorry, I'm choking on my words. And because this is the level that I'm, you know, expecting it to hold under and continue to move down. And that is what happened. Set my trim at this low here because that is where it, you know, had a significant rejection, and that is where I closed out my trade. You know, especially at these end of the day moves, it could hit again that demand zone and pop right back up, so you cannot be greedy because theta will eat these contracts up. Even if you're so far past your entry, the longer time goes, here look, I can literally visually do this for you. So I enter here 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes. As that time goes on, imagine this is your break even. Your break even is right here. As that time is going down, so does your break even. So it's continuously coming down, but it's so late in the day, and theta is a thing, which is time decay. Your break even is coming down to here. So you're like, oh, I can afford a little rejection. No, you can't. And this is what a lot of people are unaware of. Even if price were to pop up right here, your contracts would be worth, you know, not nearly as much as they were. And a lot of people don't know that. It's what a lot of people struggle with. They're unaware of that, which is, you know, it's a learning curve, but it's part of it. So, yeah, for me, super basic trade review. For maybe someone new, this probably helped you, I hope. I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below, and I will gladly answer it. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Remember, process over profits. Do not focus on the profits, focus on the process. If you focus on the profits, you will lose all the profits. Anyway. Yeah, that concludes it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.